there, it is Sherry from Twitter Painted with Paper for La La Land Crafts, and today I'm going to share with you how to make this fun Halloween treat holder. And it's super simple. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start out with 2 pieces of Kraft Cardstock. The first one is cut to 9 inches by 8 inches, and the second one is cut to 7 1/8 by 6 1/8. I am going to go ahead and stencil the paper so that my Halloween treat box has pattern paper. And for that, I'm using the So Many Dots layering stencil set. In that stencil set, there are actually 2 stencils of different sized dots. I'm using the smaller of the 2. And I'm going to quickly go ahead and stencil my background. I've done it to both the bottom and the top of the box. And now I'm going to score both bottom and the top. The top is scored at 2 inches on all 4 sides. And the bottom of the box is scored at 1 inch on all 4 sides. It's a really, really easy box to put together. It would be super cute just as a gift box, or you could make a Christmas treat box or Valentine's Day. I think it'd be cute to do the dotted background with red polka dots for Valentine's Day. So now I'm just trimming up to the first score line on all 4 sides. I'm doing the length of each piece, so the long side. And just trimming off a sliver on each side. It'll make it easier for the sides to line up properly. Same thing on the bottom of the box, cutting up lengthwise to the first score line, trimming off a sliver, again, all 4 sides. And just one more. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and make sure all my folds are nice and neat. And I'm going to add tape runner to my flaps. I'm using tape runner for the sake of time in the video, but I recommend that you use a stronger adhesive, maybe score tape or red line tape, or you could use even liquid adhesive, but of course you'll have to wait longer for that adhesive to dry. So again, for the sake of time, I'm just using the tape runner. And I'm tucking in all my corners, making sure my edges line up properly, and tucking that in. And same thing for the bottom of the box. Again, using tape runner, making sure everything's folded nicely. And I'll just tuck in the flaps again. Carefully lining up the edges. All 4 sides, one more. And guess what? It's a box and it fits. Alrighty. So now I'm going to go ahead and decorate the lid. And for that, I'm making kind of a spooky background. And I've cut out a background panel using the double stitch rectangles die, and I'm going to do some ink blending with Distress Oxides. I have Chip Sapphire, Seedless Preserves, and Carved Pumpkin. So I'll just quickly do some ink blending here. doesn't have to be perfect, as a lot of it is going to be covered up with either Marci or the trees. We'll just go back and forth, getting a nice blend. And then I'll come in with the seedless preserves and blend from there. I come in from the side so it's not quite as harsh of a line. Back in with the chip sapphire to blend back into the seedless preserves. And I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Again, we want this to be kind of a spooky background, so it needs to be darker. A little back and forth, coming down almost to the bottom. And then I'm going to use the carved pumpkin, coming up from the bottom and blending that into the seedless preserves. And then I'll come back in with the seedless preserves to blend it. A little bit of a lighter hand here so I can get a nice blend. And back in again with the carved pumpkin. And that looks good. Alrighty, so now to make my spooky trees, I've cut out the birch trees from the Birch Tree Die and a little frame that I made with the double stitch rectangles die, and then the inverted scallops rectangle die, which is brand new to Lot of Land Crafts. So I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive to attach my trees to the frame, the underside of the frame, so we won't see where they're attached when we turn this over. And you'll see that the trees are a little bit longer than the frame, which is fine because I will just go ahead and trim that off when I finish this. A little bit more liquid adhesive. And I'll flip it over now and trim it off. Make sure that's all holding down nicely. It's just a tiny bit that's hanging off, but looks better trimmed off, of course. And that's it. So now I'm going to adhere that to the spooky background. So these two pieces should line up perfectly, but as you know, I have trouble lining things up the first time, and I absolutely find it impossible to line up on camera. So you'll see me fiddle around with this, and but it's okay because it ends up working out. I just trimmed off what didn't work, and everything lines up fine, and nobody will know that I didn't get it right. I mean, you'll know, but you're not going to tell anybody, right? Okay, trimming it off, and we'll be moving along after this. All right. So now I'm going to adhere it to the front of the box, and I'm choosing to kind of do it at an angle a little bit because I think it's adds some interest to the lid that way. And just using more liquid adhesive. That down, and then I can pop Marci. This is, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but this is Witch Marci, and I gave her an orange sparkly dress and some green hair, and I think she turned out so cute. It's a little more adhesive to adhere her to the box lid, and now we get to add candy. So I found this fun green crinkly filler paper that I'm going to add to the box. It reminded me of Marci's hair. And put that in there, and then I can add my candy We had Starburst on hand, so that's what my Halloween candy is. And close it up. And now I just need to add the sentiment. And the sentiment that comes with which Marci says, "Something wicked this way comes." I think it's so cute. It's perfect. And I will just go ahead and attach that. Decide, do I want it at an angle? No, I think I'm going to keep that straight. And I'm going to get really fancy now and add some gemstones. And I like to add them in groups of 3s or odd numbers. Kind of in a triangle shape sometimes, you'll see. And just picking out, these gemstones come in 3 different sizes, so they're perfect. I use them quite a bit. And one more, and we will call it a day. This liquid adhesive dries clear, so it's just perfect. And that's it. I hope that you like it. Thank you so much for stopping by.